Richie rocks.
This is why people check their mics before they start.
Mic check. Mic check.
Mic check.
I see a lot of YouTube videos where they're like, sorry, I forgot to turn the mic on. So they just have like B-roll of like, or I just have like,
They'll have to speak over it. Silly mistakes. Okay, so what am I YouTubing right now?
Are we recording?
Yeah, we are recording.
All right, welcome to volume 2 of the Realennials.
Welcome.
I like 1L better actually, like looking at your handwriting.
Okay. Yeah, I do like 1L as well. I also tried harder on that, so.
It does technically have 2 L's in it still, but we are Realennials with 2 L's instead of 3. Welcome to the show.
There are none together on there. Chris Brown. So you're tuning in with us today, and we're...
Pat and Ruby here.
Yes, Pat and Ruby. I'm Ruby.
I'm Pat.
This is weird.
You have to introduce ourselves to the audience.
That's true. You guys don't really know us that well.
We will be
or our
hopefully
voices.
Expecting newcomers every episode.
Yeah, so thank you for listening. You can email us at realennials@gmail.com. I don't know if that's taken yet or not, but you know what?
We'll
shoot an email there and see who responds.
I bet no one has it.
You never know. Chris Brown video. Oh, I only have to write in Chris Brown video, and I found it. What are these?
No, it says It says
allegedly pulls gun on
yes,
this
that's
one.
it.
It's 3 minutes long.
No, just look at the clip. Like, go to his
2
Instagram
minutes.
page.
Go to his Instagram page.
Because I don't want you to see like some other spin on it. Like, I want you to see it yourself.
He posted it?
Yeah, he posted it on Instagram while he was in the middle of a police standoff at his house.
What? Okay, I'm checking Instagram. I hope all our listeners use Instagram. It's pretty awesome.
If you guys don't know, today, Chris Brown, well, we're hitting some really important news right off the bat. Chris Brown was involved in a police standoff at his house. Allegedly had pulled a gun on or pistol whipped a female model that was over at his place.
He pistol whipped a girl?
I don't believe he pistol whipped. Maybe I misspoke that. But I would think he pulled a gun on her allegedly. And she left and called the cops on him.
This is how rumors start.
That's why I say allegedly. It may or may not be true.
So I haven't seen the video. That's why I'm looking for it right now. And apparently he posted it on his Instagram page today. Which one is it?
The one... Ooh, there's 3 of them, it looks like. But the one on the top right, try that one first. Yeah. Hold on, put up your mic so that we can hear it.
All these motherfucking helicopter choppers is around. Police out there at the gate. Come on, my nigga. What the fuck else do y'all want from me, bro? I stay out of the way, take care of my daughter, do work. I don't even fuck ugly bitches, trifling bitches, whatever the fuck it is. I'm not on that, bro. I'm way too tired and want to be dealing with this bullshit. Y'all, every 3 months y'all got tired of me, right? It gotta be. Every 3 months y'all come up with something, bro. What is it? What's gonna be next? I'm a fart an elephant? Come on, my nigga. But at the same time, when I call the police for stalker people that are endangering my life, they don't come to the next day. Let somebody make a fucked up allegation about me. And, oh yeah, the whole fucking SWAT team. My nigga, I'm innocent. Fuck everybody. I'm tired of hearing this shit.
Damn, he said fuck everybody.
Dude, that is wild. He said, I'm a fart an elephant.
Shit. Y'all ain't doing nothing but give me better.
He said fart an elephant.
That's what I said.
Oh, I thought you said fight.
He said, I'm a fart an elephant. Like, what? I gotta make a t-shirt or something.
Chris Brown farting an elephant.
I'm a farting elephant or something.
Oh, these celebrities. I love them. I like Chris Brown. I like his music. I like his style. He's a good dancer, you know. It does seem like crazy shit's happening to him. I don't know what's going on over there.
You think it's conspiracy?
Duh. I think everything is a conspiracy. I look at all the sides, okay?
Yeah, I don't know. Now at this point, it's a pattern. You know, now it's a pattern of abusiveness towards women.
Yeah. Well, you know, I was being a little more sarcastic there, but I do think that there's probably more than meets the eye with this.
There always is.
There's got to be something going, because there's fucked up shit that happens every day with people, and I don't know. I feel like it could be, or he could be dramatic, or, you know, who fucking cares? Like, Chris Brown, live your life, Chris Brown. Do whatever you want. Pistol whip all the models you want. Like, it's okay. You live your life. Whatever.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, that's what it comes down to. I don't really care for him. I personally don't really like his music that much. I mean, some of it's catchy, sure, but
why do you think this spreads so? Like, I'm not really worried about this news. This is bullshit, random shit that's happening. But why do you think that this news spreads so quickly? I just need you to hear the elephant part. Because why does it spread so quickly? That's a great question. So I saw this on Facebook. That's where it broke. A lot of people were posting the live Facebook footage, and it does feel like this is some real made up bullshit. Like that's why it caught my attention. Like, really, it wasn't because I was so concerned about what the situation was, more so curious why this was a fucking piece of news. Like,
I feel you on that.
What the hell?
It just popped up. I think I was on the internet at work, and it was just a headline, and I clicked on it, and it just happened to be the actual video itself off his Instagram. So I watched it, and I don't care one bit about any of the events that took place at his home, allegedly, or the police standoff or anything like that. But the fart and elephant part just had me rolling.
Like, he just really said that, everybody. He just really said that.
In the middle of a police standoff. Holy.
Do you think the police were watching his Instagram? Do you think that's somebody's job at the police station when they come up on somebody crazy? Like, we have to search someone. Oh, they knew this was Chris Brown's residence, right?
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. Yeah, no, the girl that was there, some model, said that he got real crazy with her and pulled a gun on her, and then that's why she, like, called the cops on him.
He called her ugly. He doesn't fuck with ugly bitches.
I know.
Trifling bitches. Damn, it sounds like he just labeled her that after she told people that he did that shit. I honestly could see Chris Brown doing that, you know?
Oh, yeah.
I don't want to discredit this girl because...
Well, for one thing, she's like a former like, model, like beauty pageant winner model. So, we already know that part of his story is wrong.
True. Oh, wrong.
About him talking about if he is, in fact, referring to her as one of these ugly, trifling bitches. If that's what he's referring to, then he's lying about her being ugly, possibly trifling.
But definitely
Who's
not
to say?
Well, he's gonna hit him where it hurts. What else is he gonna say? He's trying to discredit her. He's trying to discredit that she would have said that. But let's look at the flip side of this. What if he did do that? Do you think?
Oh, he definitely.
I feel like
allegedly did it.
Yeah, unquote. I mean, I can't say he's innocent until proven guilty, but
it's an old argument.
Gut tells me
it's a pattern now at this point, right?
Yeah.
It's like the Bill Cosby thing. Like, it's a pattern. It's like one thing to question it if it's one person made an accusation that they can't prove.
Yeah.
But then there's a pattern of...
And multiple
in this case,
situations.
we have patterns of abuse.
Yeah.
Spanning back now like 10 years, a decade, or however long it's been since he beat up Rihanna.
Well, do you think that there's Riri? Broad City has the 4 R's. It's... What is the 4 R's? I'll come back to that, guys. It was hilarious. But... you think there's girls that have been victimized by Chris Brown that have not come forward? You know how the Bill Cosby thing, one girl came forward, and then another girl, and then another girl. Tiger Woods too. Look at that. Like, his adultery. People...
I was you said about Tiger Woods beating up girls? Because I didn't see that.
No, more girls came forward after one person came forward. So now this girl's coming forward. You think in the next few days we're going to get other girls that are like, yeah, Chris Brown was crazy with me too. Like, Chris Brown does like to pull guns out. And he, apparently, I read this somewhere too, that he dropped guns and something else, like drugs, out of a window in a duffel bag while the police were at his front door. So, what's that about? Obviously, if he's hearing helicopters, don't throw shit out the window, bitch. Like, keep that shit in your house and go hide it. You're going to throw it out the window and just be like, hey, look, here's something I wanted to dispose of on camera.
I would say, just purely speculating off of the video, like, he was clearly spent the whole night, like, really fucked up and hadn't slept. So, he was probably delusional to some point.
It's fucking Monday,
Purely speculation, though. I mean... Wasn't he at the VMAs the night before or something?
I don't know if he was at the... I don't know if... Yeah, it was the night before, but I'm not sure if he was there or not. I know Beyonce and Jay-Z were.
I didn't see it, but I heard someone, and it may have been just a straight-up joke and not, like, he may not have been there, but I heard something to the effect of, like, Drake professed his love for Rihanna, and then they're like... And then they showed Chris Brown being all sad about it.
Oh, no way. I didn't see that. I know Drake professed his love.
They may have, like... I think I heard it on the radio, and I think that they, like, may have said it as a joke, and that maybe, like, it didn't actually... None of that happened.
Oh, but...
But I think they did say that Drake, like, professed his love for Rihanna. And I don't know about the part about Chris Brown being true.
I guarantee you, though, that's a daily thing for Drake. I know that he probably calls Rihanna every morning, and it's like, Rihanna, I love you. Please be with me. She's playing hard to get.
Yeah.
I think they're together, actually. I don't know.
It was like, he was like that with Nicki Minaj first, right?
He was like that with Nicki Minaj. I wonder if they're even friends. They don't talk no more because of Meek Mill. Meek Mill and Drake got some beef. And it's probably because of Nicki Minaj. What kind of shit do you think that they deal with? Are they dealing with the same drama we're dealing with?
What do you mean? What kind of drama? We're dealing with real people drama.
Yeah, this is...
Broke down cars and shit.
I know, that is real people.
So
that's
they're
real.
They're not dealing with our problems.
They're not dealing with our problems. You know, I would rather be dealing with the problems I have now than... I look at people that are maybe a little further along in their success journey as me, and they have problems. You know, they have a lot of solutions, and they've been through a bunch of shit, but they have real people problems. Like, I'm kind of cool with having the problems I have now because this is really all I can handle. I'm really working up towards some other issues, like real money problems. You know, like I'm getting taxed 10% on my $1 billion. Those kind of problems are also difficult to deal with. How do you fucking fix that kind of shit? I don't know.
It's hard. I mean, it's hard to say. You can't really say without having had some exposure to that type of situation.
Which I'm not there. So Chris Brown is just, I guess we'll see where this goes. I'm sure he'll post more stuff on Instagram.
He did actually finally get arrested, though, is what I just read.
Oh, he did get arrested?
And let's see.
Standoff with LA. Chris Brown, alleged victim. Oh, she went on to 4 hours ago. Let me see this video.
Let me see if I can
this girl posted.
Find a reputable news source such as TMZ.
It's the same one I'm on. What the fuck? Okay, here we go.
Everything was fine. Talking to Chris, talking to Ray J. Everything was great. And then I went outside. I sat in the hot tub for a little bit.
Ray J was there?
One of my friends was swimming in the pool.
Can't tell ya.
And then we decided to go back in. And then that's when I saw this male who was selling these diamond watches and the diamond necklaces, and that's when I saw the diamond cross necklace, and of course I'm gonna admire it. I did not pick it up. I did not try to take it, anything to that sort, and I don't know if it was his friend.
She sounds
kind of triggered Chris, but he said, "Don't go near the diamonds." Started calling me names, saying, "Get the F outside, go back outside." And then that's when Chris kind of went off and said, what did I tell you, girls? I've been telling you over and over again. And then he pulled out the gun and he said, get the F out of here, and threatened me with it. And that's when I just left. There was girls previous to the event, about an hour before that, about 4 others that he kicked out. So it's like he's getting continuously sick of these girls. I'm not too sure.
So he pulls out a gun. Was he pointing it
Why
at
are you over there?
All right.
And
Yeah.
That is, first of all, this just happened today. She's already doing an interview with TMZ. I mean,
I don't want to speculate, but I want to speculate.
like, he pulled out a gun. I get it. It's a little more violent, whatever, than normal people are used to dealing with. But he told you to leave. Like, get the fuck out. And that's all you got to do. Like, in my opinion, that's all they had to do was get the fuck out. And they were fine. But she, like, did she really have to go and call cops and say, like, oh my God, he tried to kill me?
Like, you leave his property. You, at that point, if he comes running out after you've left and he's like, look, I'm going to point this fucking gun at you and I'm going to make you feel more in danger after you left the situation, by all means, right then and there, you start calling the police and say, look, Chris fucking Brown, I'm going to call the police. But it just does kind of sound as if, okay, let me put it this way, because I don't want to make any assumptions. I would have handled it differently. I would have just left. And I would have just been like, I'm never fucking with Chris Brown again. Mm-hmm. Never fucking with him. And if he ever, like, if I ever feel threatened by him again, I will let the police know about my experiences with him. Or if somebody asks me about it. But I'm just not putting myself in that situation anymore. I've moved on. It's over. Fuck Chris Brown. And I wouldn't have been like, okay, but I'm also going to call TMZ so that they can interview me about it. Like, you know, like, what's the end to...
30 grand to do an interview or some speculative number.
I mean, shit, you know what, with our problem, with, well, my money problems, I can't lump you in there. I might need that money too with some Chris Brown bullshit story. Everything has a price. That's crazy. I mean, if they paid, if that really happened to her, right? Now, let's put ourselves in this position where we need money and we're this girl. If that really did happen and TMZ was saying, hey, I just want to catch your story online, and we'll pay you $25,000 for it. You think she got paid that much? No, $10,000, $5,000.
She got paid some ridiculous amount of money to do a 20-minute interview or 5-minute interview. I can pretty much
You know what's sad is
that.
she probably didn't. She probably got paid $1,000, $2,000 maybe. There's no way.
Well, regardless, I mean, even $1,000 is a ridiculous amount of money for her to earn for just going on and telling about this story.
But if it was true, like, what does it hurt for you to make some money and say that? Like,
true,
you know what? Because here's what I would be thinking if I was her. Also, let me flip the script here. I would be thinking, fuck Chris Brown. Who does he think he is that I'm not going to go out and just, like, tell people the fucking truth about how he acted? Like, if somebody's asking me, I'm going to say it's true. Like, I would not cause a hoopla over it, but fuck that guy. Like, he fucking threatened me, and he fucking pointed a gun at me. Like, don't do that shit if you don't want people to share it, right? And I would expect the same from me if I was doing stupid shit and somebody was like, okay, so I'm going to tell people how you really acted. It's the truth. I would have to be like, well, I fucking did do that. I did do that.
I guess I'm more like old school, like code of the street. Like, if some shit like that happens, like, you don't run and, like, tell
well, that's not the first thing you do, but...
You know, like, it's like, okay, like, fuck you too then. Fuck your house and your watches. And, like, I ain't never coming back here. And then I go and, like, bitch about it to all my friends and shit like that. But I ain't going to, like, the news and causing a ruckus. Now, it's a different thing entirely if they call me
and they ask you about it.
Hey, by the way,
we heard you were at this party.
5 minutes of questions for you, and we got like 10 grand. I'd be like, shit, what should I wear? You know what I'm saying? Like, so I could definitely see that too. But at the same time, like, she loses all credibility in the first place for even being there. I mean, you could say, like, whatever, victim blaming, but he already has a pattern of abuse towards women.
I agree. I just wouldn't put myself around. I mean, fuck it. If Chris Brown asked me to go chill at his house, I might agree to, but I wouldn't expect very much, you know?
And and this is purely speculation too, because we don't really truly know what was going on there. It's going to be two sides of the story, and the reality is probably going to fall somewhere in the middle. You know, probably they were fucking around with his watches or something. Probably they were, thousands of dollars worth of jewelry or something. And maybe he had someone recently steal some jewelry from him or something. So maybe he flipped his shit after he gave them multiple warnings to stay away from the jewelry. You know.
And then they didn't
obviously it didn't warrant a gun being pulled on anybody, but maybe they deserve to be kicked out of his house, you know?
Yeah.
Who knows? So who really all knows? I mean, if he didn't actually get violent with them and he didn't threaten to actually kill them, if he just pulled a gun out and started waving it around and told everyone to get the fuck out, that's just, I think, get the fuck out and go cry about it to your friends, the end of story.
I agree.
But she had to call the cops and whatever. And like you said, like if you were in her shoes, who knows how you'd feel about it. Maybe TMZ called up and said, hey, we have $10,000 check for you, come in, do a little 5-minute interview, and it's yours.
You know what? What's your address?
Right. But all will be revealed soon enough.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Well, I guess we'll just stay tuned. We'll see what happens with it. So, everybody out there, I actually hope you guys are doing something productive. Which you are, because you're listening to us. Sorry for the
Chris Brown rant discussion.
You're welcome.
You can tune back in now.
You've tuned out. No, I think it is interesting, and it is worth seeing why people actually, you know what? I saw millennials posting about this. So this is actually very relevant news.
Pertinent topic.
Yeah, it is. The way that this topic is getting around to our generation is important because it's off of Facebook and it's probably on Twitter. So we're seeing it. We're seeing these things. Like, what other things have you seen on your Facebook timeline?
Yeah, you're getting to I think the heart of the discussion of how millennials take in news.
Yeah.
Via the internet, basically. And yeah, so like today, I see like on my Facebook, I saw a lot about Colin Kaepernick, which is an interesting topic, which we can expand on as well. And then I still just see a lot of Trump stuff and Hillary stuff.
Yeah, I still see Trump stuff. I see a lot of tasty videos. I mean, thanks everybody for the fucking recipes and how-tos on all these delicious looking foods, but
in full disclosure, I do like block a lot of people off of my newsfeed, and so it's like probably like it's actually legitimately like 60 to 70% of it is actually news articles from like CNN, NPR,
a lot of it is clickbait,
BBC, and other news outlets. So I read different headlines and consume my information from that. But I think a lot of people maybe don't follow news as much as I do specifically, and they just follow like stuff like TMZ that other people post on their Facebook, and they read those articles.
If one person posts and a lot of people share it, especially if those people are all within your circle, and multiple people are posting the same thing, you're seeing it way more often. And every time somebody comments on these things, so these high traffic articles that are getting a lot of responses from your friends and family, that's the news you're gonna see on Facebook. Right. And I can't say that I go to the Wall Street Journal or Washington Post every day to read up on my news. So Facebook a lot of times is where I'm getting some of my news. I do like Snapchat. Snapchat's a really good place to get some news. Instagram is, Twitter is probably the best, but it's just so interesting to me how people are getting their information, and it really does depend on whose things you can see.
Right.
Like, I know there are people that I've blocked because what they post is bullshit and it is polluting my mind.
Right.
I probably need to do some more pruning. What websites do you like? Where do you get your news at?
I read
as a
lot. I go to, for like a base, I do CNN is like the base. And then if I feel like, so a little bit of explaining for how I take in news starts with how I interact and perceive facts and data as they're presented to me.
Yeah.
And that has a lot to do with how I was educated in college, specifically with how I believe certain things, if I think that things warrant trust, or particular news entities warrant trust, or particular writers, or if an article's skewed or subjective. I feel like I'm pretty good at determining that kind of information from any given news article. So CNN, I feel like, obviously they're a big corporation. They're owned by an even bigger corporation, and they every major corporation and news entity in America has a motive or some sort of motive, financial or otherwise. So I always start with that baseline thought right off the bat. And then CNN, so I go to CNN a lot. Some people call it Clinton News Network. It's been revealed that there's some collusion with the...
What is this word, collusion?
Collusion just means that they were like working together behind the scenes, like basically, but like presenting conspiring behind the scenes, but like presenting an image otherwise from that. So basically, yeah. So you hear it a lot with like the word collusion. You hear it basically when you hear about it like people working in the background that aren't supposed to be working together for some main reason of integrity or something of that nature. So anyway, so that's where my baseline of thought comes from when I'm taking in news.
So CNN.
So CNN, I start from there. And if I have any 1 ounce of like doubt or thought that this particular article or this particular topic is skewed in any way by either the writer or the network itself, then I venture out and read other articles from other networks. So, but I read a lot of
the same topic.
Of the same topic. So I read a lot of CNN.
You mentioned the BBC.
BBC is international.
Yeah.
It's from the UK, as well as The Economist, which is also from the UK.
I do like The Economist a lot.
So I read those, and I read NPR. CNN International is pretty good. And then I'll branch out a little bit from there. I read a little bit of Huffington Post, and yeah, so I get a lot of I do use Yahoo, and Yahoo
instead of Google.
No, I Google things with Google, but Yahoo is like one of the places I go to.
For news, they have...
Because it consolidates a lot of the news that I'm interested in for me. And it links to, like, New York Times, Washington Post, all these different places.
You know what?
Articles.
I haven't been
It's all Associated Press, basically.
I haven't been to Yahoo in a while, but I did like their structure online, how they give you the articles and you could, like, click through them. They kind of changed it. Or was it MSN? I liked MSN.
Yeah, MSN.
MSN was pretty good. I feel like Yahoo has some ads in here.
But I do also like to be somewhat balanced. So, like, if I feel like a topic is really inherently one way or another, then I'll try to find the opposition to that. So I will, on occasion, read, like, Fox News to see what their perspective is on it. And get like a more well-rounded view, because that's what I mean. I encourage everybody to do that. Like, don't just read CNN or MSNBC
and take it for fact. You have to fact check where you get your facts.
Exactly. So, and that is like the most important thing that anybody could do whenever they're consuming information. But then it makes it. So this brings us back to our conversation about getting news off of Facebook and the internet, because it makes it seemingly like the bad part about it is that there's millions of people in fact that aren't college educated and aren't aware of the idea of fact checking the fact checker, You know?
Listen, there's people in the United States that still think that 9/11 was a terrorist attack, other than the United States.
Yeah.
I mean, hey guys, I believe that 9/11 was a setup. It was definitely planned by somebody with the United States knowing, and I'm gonna put that out there. We probably won't air this. Cut
That's a little extreme for our second episode, so maybe we'll circle back to that.
But what I'm saying is, people don't see these other sides. So one, they don't believe the opposition to their what they've already established as their belief. But sometimes they may not even be looking for it. Like some people don't even know that's a thing. Like what? It could have been a possible setup. Like you have to see every side of it so you can make a decision. And I think that's something that we advocate the most here is, you know, believe what you want to believe, think what you want to think. But if you've fact checked it and you've analyzed the situation and you asked your questions and you've come up with that conclusion, we're going to respect what you think. We may not agree, but if you have your proof on that, that's all we're asking. Just like make sure that you get what you need before you come to a conclusion. But me and Patrick do think that, and I'm speaking for both of us now, but I think that if you get the right facts and you ask the right questions, everybody is going to come up with the same conclusion. You're going to be a well-informed citizen that can make their country and their world better. But yeah, just do your research, guys. Seriously.
Yeah, and I think
about it.
The thing about that is, okay, so the part about the college education is that people, I would hope to think that most people learn that in school, in college at least, where how important it is to really question what you're reading. What are you reading? Who wrote it? And what are their motives? Because I had $1 for every time I had a teacher shoot down a source or something that I had in a paper. Be like, who is this person? In fact, they'll be like, I looked up this source and it's garbage. Like, find another source. And like in high school, that never happened. Like in high school, your teachers never like really looked up your sources.
No, they're like, oh, good, you have a bibliography page. And
exactly.
We're excited.
But in college, like I had sources that were like legitimately scrutinized. Like the teacher actually went and followed the link or followed and looked up at the article to see how well I understood that information and how well I was reiterating it into my paper and incorporating it into my paper, and if I was using the information correctly to prove my point. And because of that, I have that, I think, what I consider to be a pretty thorough understanding of how you're supposed to understand news and information presented to you and how you're supposed to represent it in a fashion that can be discussed objectively. Whereas I think a lot of people that don't go to college or that don't get that scrutiny, if they did go to college, they miss that whole point entirely.
Of fact checking, yeah, you're right.
It's the most harmful thing that's going on right now is that always happened. But the thing that's making it worse is the internet, because it's like making it even more like that than it ever was.
It's easier because it's at a glance. It's as you're scrolling down through what you perceive to be really safe and true information. You know this person. You know that person. You know that they work there. You know that they look that way, and they're posting this, and then you take that as fact because that person is real and that's real. And if you're not used to fact checking what other people say or what sources you're getting your news from, you're going to take a lot of things as fact that you should in reality have been looking into.
Right.
So this is worrying me now that
right. Well, okay, and then take it even a step further to add on to like the worrying is that
we're worried.
In addition to the people who aren't aware of like the fact checking aspect that we just discussed, and taking the information like instantaneously, just reading basically headlines and short clips, and taking it as fact is the fact that news people are getting even more slick about blurring the lines of fact and opinion. So
It's
Fox
true.
News, for instance, is so good at being like, they consider themselves having journalistic integrity, but within a journalistic integrity thing, they'll say, within a segment, they'll be like, okay, the jobs lost were 200,000, unemployment's up, Obama, this and that.
Took
you
a
know,
shit.
like, is it because Obama hates America? We'll find out when we come back. You know, and it's like, they'll say a bunch of facts, and then they say, is it because Obama hates America? And then, like,
They'll make that
saying that makes those ignorant people who don't understand how to take in news, they'll consider that a fact. It's like, because he does hate America. And that's like the new fact that they cling on to, quote unquote fact.
Oh
and it's
my
like,
gosh.
they didn't actually say it as a fact, but they present it in a way that is associated with the facts.
Oh my gosh, I've never noticed that. And especially if maybe those people don't stick around to listen to what's happening. Maybe if that's
the rest of the story.
Yeah, if that's in passing, or they just blindly think, okay, this person's already done the research. Now I'm just going to make this fact. When in fact, pun intended, they should have been fact checking all of it. All of it. You have to ask why at all times. This is actually worrying me. You know what? I do think that our Facebook feed is probably ridiculous because of where we grew up, but it's also full of informed people. I do see, like, I know your posts are good. I know the people that if I see the stuff that they post, I probably more so believe it than not, because I know that they're well informed. But I vetted those sources.
Right.
I've already taken the time to analyze if they will analyze things. So, but there's not very many people on my newsfeed that I'll read that from. I mean, if I post something, do you think, oh, that's probably of value?
Yeah, I do.
I don't like how long that took you.
Well, because I'm trying to think, like, because
stuff. Well, I mostly post music stuff.
You mostly post music stuff and like
YouTube
personal
videos.
and like inspirational stuff.
Yeah.
So, which is great, and like people need that too. People like appreciate that. Like, I think it's fantastic when you post like inspirational stuff, because maybe like I'm having a bad day. I'm like, oh, Ruby's post something awesome, and I'm like, okay, cool. Like,
yeah, I don't post too much news. I try not to get in the thick of things like that. But
sometimes that's the way to go. You know, you also have like a way bigger social media presence than I do, so you have to be more conscious of things that you post than I do per se.
Well, and you know what? In the past, as I grow up, I think, man, really fuck everybody that does like I'm gonna fuck everybody. I am gonna post.
I'm innocent. Fuck everybody.
I'm gonna fart an elephant. He is too much. I will, you know, my opinions. I won't have to defend them anymore. Oh my gosh, I don't know what just turned on. It was a Rihanna video.
Riri?
Oh no, it's a Childish Gambino video. What up? His new show? I gotta pause this, whatever this is.
Can I, is it recording? And we're back.
We are back. We just poured ourselves a little bit of tequila. It is a Tuesday, everybody. But you know what?
It's Tequila Tuesday.
It's Taco Tuesday. Let's talk about this tequila.
Tequila Tuesday.
Taco Tequila Tuesday. Delicious. We love it.
So what else? Colin Kaepernick. All right.
Colin Kaepernick.
This guy, it is divisive. This lens, okay, so this adds on to what we were just speaking about
before the tequila.
The reason, in my opinion, why America is so divisive right now is precisely because of how we're taking the information. Because back in the day, it was like, whether you agreed with people, like philosophically with people or not, politically with people or not, like, bullshit was bullshit, and no one listened to bullshit. You know.
Yeah. No.
Nobody listened. Like, even like you hear your grandparents or your parents say you can't believe everything you read or everything you hear on the news or on the radio, and that was common knowledge for everybody.
Yeah.
Across the spectrum, political spectrum. Nowadays, it's like that's not even common sense anymore. Like, now it's like, believe everything you read. Like, no, cut it out.
I don't really... Yes, it is like that. But I feel as if it's more so believe everything you hear famous people say.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely part of it.
There's more...
Well, everyone has more of a voice because of the internet.
Yeah, Twitter, and there's more credibility if there's more exposure, which aren't necessarily the case. Donald Trump, how exposed is he? How much credibility does he have without people actually looking beneath maybe the surface of some of...
And he is, in fact, the epitome of what I'm trying to discuss here. He is...
He is the point.
I didn't want to even, like, I wasn't trying to necessarily get into Donald Trump and politics, but, like, it's precisely the environment that I'm talking about. The graying, the blurring of the lines between objective journalism and just retweeting opinions. Like, it is the perfect storm, like, because of what we have offered to us and how internet information is provided to us so easily, so willy-nilly, if you will, to get all technical on you. It allows people to take in this information, and it's blurred. Like, he's effectively just a celebrity with a Twitter account.
But so was Ronald Reagan.
But he had some political ongoings, didn't he? Or something? I don't know.
He was an actor.
I knew that he was an actor.
I mean, I don't know how he got into politics, but how the fuck did Donald Trump get into politics?
Okay, so...
How is Kanye going to win 2020? He's going to get into politics.
Have to examine that, I think, more thoroughly, the Ronald Reagan part of it. But there's a perfect storm of those blurred lines, right? Yeah. People in the same news feed, they're looking at news articles, and at the same time, they're looking at...
TV.
Looking at celebrities' Twitter feeds that are full of opinions about how this is right or this is wrong, and it's all blurring. So they're getting information, like, in the same sitting, they're reading a news article and also reading Kanye West's opinions about whatever. And so, like, it's all, like, mentally a jumble in their mind about things that are just facts and opinions.
So you confuse what is fact and what is opinion. Well, you know, South Park actually brought this up in season 19, and it's a really smart season of South Park. Have you seen it at all?
I have.
Any of these South Park episodes?
I've seen, like, the politically correct episode.
Yeah.
Politically correct police or whatever.
Yeah, PC principal. It's the principal.
Oh yeah.
So, oh man, they make a lot of these points where, you know, they say the confusion between ads and news and how people take it, and it's there's these really funny scenes where the boys are starting to look stuff up online, and they're talking more about, like, clicking advertisements and thinking that they're real links to somewhere. Yeah, they're like clickbait. So these boys are, like, doing research, and then the next scene it shows them all eating chicken nuggets at Foot Locker trying on shoes, and they're like how the hell what the fuck, how did we get here? Like, and they're like, oh yeah, it started with that link about chickens, and then somehow they all really just ended up somewhere else. So I think that's happening to people right now. They think that clicking on something, maybe they are trying to be informed. Maybe they are trying to do their research. And then online, it's confusing because of advertisements or sponsored content. Or that might be more towards selling, like commerce. But I think websites are trying to get click-throughs. And current events, getting new, fresh stories, having maybe breaking news on your site is something that will get people... it'll get them numbers on, like, traffic to their website. Right. So maybe sometimes they throw integrity out the window a little bit to get that, you know, because... And
that's something that we have to be aware of. And that's something that's not that specifically. See, like, I went to college. I'm versed on how to specifically read information and analyze it. But there's so much stuff going on behind the scenes of the internet. People that have side deals and are working in collusion with separate entities when they're presenting us information, and it has to do with that precisely, clickbait and things like that, or just moving traffic along for money, for revenue, and that's stuff that we're not even aware of.
Yeah.
And but yeah, so getting back to my point, it's like Trump is now in this position because of all of that, like because of the fact that people are blurring celebrity opinions with what should be considered political and journalistic integrity.
So people are, and they're doing this to voters. Mm-hmm. These are people that can vote. These are the mass. This is the majority of. Oh man, it's so sad. I don't know. I guess as far as analyzing the whole situation itself, I have to put some more thought into it too. I need to see my own like clicking patterns, and I do spend some time on Facebook, but really when I'm online, and you know what I call my web surfing research, because it really is research. I'm usually looking up a specific topic, something to do with my business, something to do fashion related, something I'm curious in. Sometimes it is just bullshit, like I'm looking up how to make a movie on an iPhone, you know, just random stuff, but it's constructive for me. But I don't spend so much time just randomly clicking through things, but I do spend time doing it. And the time I do spend doing it, how is it being spent? So it's not even about these people that are maybe on Facebook all day, these stay-at-home moms that maybe like Pinterest and Facebook a lot. It's also about the little time that you do get on there, what fast assumptions can you make based on these articles or stories or points of views that are blurred between opinion and fact or integrity. Right. I think for the next week, maybe the next time we podcast, we talk about a little bit of how we're being mindful of that and how we maybe work on, I don't know, changing it or getting better at it. I haven't, this subject was brought up organically, listeners. These are Realennials. So I didn't get much time to think about it, but I do want to make sure that we stay on this. We report back to this eventually.
This actually would be a very good topic to have a highly produced segment on.
We can research that.
Do some research and possibly interview people or somebody. I would think most people would need to be interviewed. Probably someone specialist, like an advertising specialist, a journalist who specializes in possibly like internet media, and it would be nice to interview somebody old, like a really old journalist that's been, doing it since way before the internet. And kind of get a perspective on all of this. You know what I mean? More valid perspective than
I would
ours.
like you. This is homework for you, Patrick, if you get a chance. Maybe while you're traveling, you can download these episodes or something. You should watch South Park. You should watch the 19th season. Gear up for the 20th season because it's coming out. And I'm a big fucking South Park fan. Ever since we were little, our parents were really, they really didn't let us watch anything that was like R-rated with cussing. I mean, they were good parents. They didn't let us just do whatever the fuck we wanted. But South Park was always something that we would, all the cousins would be like, okay, all the parents are busy. They're all like playing cards or, chilling or talking or like doing yard work or whatever they were fucking doing. We were hanging out. We would watch some South Park because that was like our shit back then. South Park has been speaking to this. Actually, it speaks to our Realennials, the millennial generation, because it's been around. It's 20 years. I mean, it's hitting their 20th season. I'm 29.
It's crazy. They're every bit as intelligent and clever as they ever have been. Man,
they are so clever with the things that they, and just how they present it, and it's so innocent. It's so innocent, and oh man, and you have, it's just so, it gets the point across, and it makes you not only question but also laugh at some of the things that are happening. Like, they love to poke fun
and point out how preposterous things are.
And how just silly some things are, or how serious some things are. It's pretty funny. So watch that. Watch your habits this week. See what you're doing. I don't know. I mean, if you guys want to email us at realennials@gmail.com, you might get a response from us. You might get a response from somebody else. Give us some tips. How do you...
Realennials with two L's.
With two L's.
With two L's.
Specifically, we said at the beginning of the thing. You said it, Pat. How did you forget? Two L's.
See if we can do that real quick.
REALENNIAL. Realennial @gmail.com. Should it be the Realennials or Realennials? We're making the Google right now, guys.
I like the Realennials.
The Realennials. What about the Realennials?
The Realennials.
Google.com.
So then while you're doing that, I just want to kind of circle back around to... So, all of that is related to what's going on today in our country, the divisiveness. Because everybody Colin Kaepernick is now only taking in their very subjective, quote-unquote, news, which is all blurred lines of what their favorite celebrities and their skewed news organizations, such as Fox News and MSNBC on the other side, where they're saying things like I said, like the example that I use, like jobs are down, unemployment's up. Is it because Obama hates America? Stay tuned and find out. And they're taking in information like this and they're forming their lifelong solid opinions off of that. This is what Realennials are doing right now. As opposed to taking in true objective information and it's not just taking objective information, it's how you use it within yourself too.
I was going to say taking action towards it. There's one thing to believe something, but there's another thing to believe something and it cause you to do something. So, if you believe something, but there's no action, believe whatever you want, because you're not doing anybody, including yourself, any favors, because you're not taking any action upon it. You're just whatever. But anything we believe, it'll create an action, right? So, if you believe that vaccinating your kids is not bad, it's good, then you're going to vaccinate your kids, and that's your outcome. So people will get these opinions about things, and then they will take action. But if you're not taking action, there's no reason. It doesn't fucking matter. So not only is what you believe important, but the action that you take because of what you believe is equally important. Millennials, we like to sit around and analyze and think and retweet and repost, but how often are we taking action? How often are we writing a letter or going out to talk to somebody or fucking walking out the door even to just go make some change happen? A lot of us aren't, And I'd like to encourage you guys to not only analyze what's going on around you, but use it to create something else, like to make something happen.
I do have to interject vote. Because I do think, and this lends to our conversation about how the internet and how we're taking in information. It is to the point where, like, when Facebook posts first became like a controversial thing, and you're like, in tweets, when they first started creating controversy, back in whatever year that was.
A long time ago.
It was like, for us, being our age, we were like, oh, that's stupid. Like, retweeting and posting about it is stupid and pointless. But now, because of what we just talked about, like, in a way, it is an action. Like, that's the true. Sad part, or the good part, depending on the way you look at it, is
both.
We say, like, tweeting about it and posting about it on Facebook isn't doing anything, but in fact, it is. This is what we just talked about. It is contributing to how people believe. It's a part of what they're taking in. And so the anti-vaccination, since you brought it up, it's like I honestly believe people are, like, not doing it because they see other people that they know post about not doing it. And maybe not even be like truly even doing the research themselves. They say, oh, well, so-and-so down the street and my sister and her kids and my cousin, they're not doing it. So, like, I'm not doing it. Because they, like...
But I didn't do my research.
Yeah, and they only know that they're not doing it because they saw them post about it on Facebook, or they did post like an article or whatever on Facebook. But like I say that they're not fact checking that kind of stuff. It's been, proven that the guy who came up with like the anti-vaccination movement research like skewed his research entirely. He like admitted it, says it's basically no good whatsoever, and people are still arguing for the fact that vaccinations are bad because of that guy. And it's like, this is what happens when a lie goes too far, basically.
Oh, but how much information are we getting that's skewed? So much. I guarantee you so much. That's why I cannot stress it enough. Do your research. And I myself am the type of person that will not speak on something unless say for sure, unless I'm well informed. If not, I'm giving my opinion, and that's how everybody does it. But even I change my mind. I will listen to the other side and say, you know what, what I thought doesn't make sense. And that's where we talked about it last time. Cognitive dissonance comes into play. You have your belief, you have an opposing belief come in, whether it's through a Facebook post, through somebody else, through a podcast, whatever, and that uncomfortable feeling of having those two opposing beliefs is going to make you choose, and you're going to rationalize either one. It doesn't matter what you do, you're going to rationalize either one. What you're going to use to rationalize it is the rest of the ammunition that people have given you or that you have went and searched for. So if you didn't go on Wikipedia at least and go research, a subject and move to a different one on the things you didn't know, and you felt like you knew something about the subject, then you don't have any ammunition to change your belief. Right. So people have to be questioning what happens. They have to follow the breadcrumbs. I mean, fall down the rabbit hole, but do your research and also put some action between it.
People just
retweet those tweets, y'all.
It's so crazy. The funny thing about Wikipedia is we grew up in an era of, like, in school. Yeah. Well, okay, first of all, encyclopedias from day one, right?
I remember.
But then in school, when Wikipedia became a thing, it was like a running joke, like, haha, where'd you hear that from, Wikipedia?
Yeah.
And now, ironically, Wikipedia is probably the most accurate, like, true source of information there is on the internet. At least, I should say, easily accessible. There is wealths of information, academic journals that you probably have to have access to, databases, be a student somewhere and you have access to academic journals.
I ask my cousins for their passwords all the time. Like, I'm just going to get on there and do research. Like, I'm not going to go look at your grades or anything or change your class schedule, because those are really good sources. You get, and there's people doing, okay, so if you want information on something, go ask somebody that went and studied it, right?
Right.
Those 8 years or 4 years that they were in school studying it and putting thought and effort into it, you can get that information from them in a couple of hours. Right. It's fucking crazy, right? So why not form your opinions off of that? Also, I'm not sure if that even made any sense to me.
Well, help it contribute to the information that you're basing your opinions off of.
Yeah.
There's tiers of validity in information that you're using to base your opinion off of. And the tiers of validity are like Wikipedia. Was it someone just rant about it on Facebook?
Was it somebody that was there?
Was it someone that has first-hand experience with it? Or is it someone that studied it extensively for 20 years, objectively? All right, we did manage to get cut off right there.
Cool.
So we're going to wrap it up. Thank you for joining us on another episode of The Realennials. Patrick here signing off.
This is Ruby saying bye. Thank you for joining us. As always, you can reach us at therealennials@gmail.com, or you can hit us up on Twitter. What's our Twitter handle, Pat?
At TheRealennials.
And that's it.
That is TheRealennials.
Realennials. Woo! You can Google us, look us up, send us any questions, comments, concerns you have regarding the show, any information that we may have left out of the story or topic, or any input. We can address that next week on the show. Hopefully you tune in for that.
Yeah, reach out, guys. Thank you so much.
See
you later.
Bye.
Realennials.